Dorothy hadn't been able to leave her home for days. Grocery shopping had become too difficult. Her neighbors were busy, her children lived far away. Then one day, her doorbell rang and her life began to change. October 22nd, 2021, Friday morning. In her small apartment on Fountain Avenue in West Hollywood, Los Angeles, Dorothy Tyler, a 78-year-old retired teacher, was watching the street from her window. Life continued flowing outside, but her world was gradually shrinking. Dorothy had been an elementary school teacher for 45 years, touching the lives of thousands of children, a strong and independent woman. But for the past 2 years, she had been struggling with the difficulties that aging brings. Her hands and knees hurt terribly due to arthritis. Walking had become difficult, daily tasks had become nearly impossible. Her husband Robert had passed away from a heart attack 3 years ago. Since that day, Dorothy had started living alone. She had 2 children, but both lived in different states. Her son Michael was a lawyer in New York, very busy. Her daughter Sarah worked as a nurse in Texas and had 3 young children of her own. Dorothy didn't want to bother them. "I can take care of myself," she would always say. But the reality was very different. For the past month, she couldn't do grocery shopping. Her arthritis had gotten so bad that she couldn't carry heavy bags. Going up and down stairs was painful. She also didn't know how to do online shopping. That Friday morning, when she looked in her cupboard, there were only old breadcrumbs, expired milk, and a few canned goods. Her stomach was rumbling, but she didn't know what to do.
Dorothy picked up her phone and thought of her neighbors. She thought of the Martinez family living upstairs. But they were a young couple, both working, and had a small baby. They wouldn't have time to help her anyway. She thought of elderly Mr. Johnson downstairs, but he was also 80 years old and needed help himself. She thought of Amy, the young girl living across the hall, but she was also a university student, constantly busy with classes. "I don't want to bother anyone," Dorothy murmured. "Everyone is busy with their own lives." She considered trying to walk to the store. It was only 3 blocks away, but for Dorothy, this distance was like running a marathon. Even a 10-minute walk now tired her. She thought about calling her daughter Sarah, but what could she do from Texas? Besides, Sarah had called last week and asked, "Mom, how's your health? Do you need anything?" Dorothy had lied and said, "Everything's fine, honey, don't worry." Why had she lied? Because her pride wouldn't allow it. As a woman who had helped others for 45 years and taught strength, asking for help now was very difficult. Dorothy sat in the kitchen and brewed her last tea bag. The sugar had also run out, but at least she was drinking something warm. She looked at Robert's photo by the window. "I wish you were here, Robert," she whispered. "You always found a solution." Robert really always found solutions. They had a car. They would go to the store together. He would carry the heavy bags. When they got home, they would cook together. Now there was no car either. They had sold it after Robert passed away because Dorothy couldn't drive. She thought about ordering food by phone, but she didn't know the numbers. Besides, she didn't know how to make online payments. The clock showed 2 p.m. in the afternoon. She had only had tea since morning. Her stomach hurt from hunger, but she didn't know what to do. She thought about calling the apartment manager, Mr. Stevens. Maybe he would help. But he was also a very busy man, constantly dealing with apartment problems. Dorothy looked out the window at the street. People were passing by. Everyone had somewhere to go, a purpose. But she was trapped here.
Around 3:30, Dorothy's doorbell rang. She was very surprised because she wasn't expecting anyone. She slowly walked to the door. Each step was painful due to arthritis. "Who is it?" she asked. "Hello, I'm your neighbor. I want to help you."
Dorothy didn't recognize the voice. "Which neighbor?" "My name is Keanu. I live nearby. I heard you need help." Dorothy was very surprised. Who had told him she needed help? "Who did you hear it from?" "From the apartment manager, Mr. Stevens. He said you need help with grocery shopping." Dorothy cracked the door open. A middle-aged, calm-looking man was standing in front of her. Black t-shirt, jeans, very casually dressed. I didn't tell anyone I needed help. Mr. Stevens said there was a neighbor who wanted to help you but didn't know how to approach it. He pointed me to you." Keanu wasn't telling the truth. Actually, that day while walking, he had seen a note at the apartment entrance. "Our elderly neighbor Dorothy on the 3rd floor needs help with grocery shopping. No one can help. Please help. An anonymous neighbor." Dorothy was undecided. Was it safe to accept help from a stranger? "I'm sorry, but I don't know you. How can I trust you?" Keanu smiled understandingly. "You're absolutely right. I would say the same thing if I were in your place." He took out his ID from his pocket and showed it to Dorothy. "Keanu Reeves. I've been living here for about 10 years. If you want, you can call Mr. Stevens and ask about me." Dorothy looked at the ID. The name seemed familiar, but she couldn't remember from where. "I can just go to the store and bring you what you need. I don't want any payment. I just want to help." Dorothy's proud side wanted to say, "No, thank you. I can take care of myself." But her mind and stomach were saying, "Yes, please." "Why do you want to help me?" "Because everyone needs help sometimes. When I get old someday, I'd want someone to help me too." This sincere answer affected Dorothy. "I just need a few things. Milk, bread, canned goods." "Of course. Will you make a list?" Dorothy excitedly went to the kitchen and found paper and pen. She hadn't felt this hopeful in a long time. Milk, bread, butter, cheese, eggs, pasta, tomato sauce, some vegetables, and tea bags. She gave the list to Keanu. "You'll also need money," Dorothy said, taking out her wallet. "Don't worry, I'll handle it. We'll settle up later." No, it can't be like that. Take my money." Keanu took Dorothy's $60. "I'll be back in an hour. You rest." After Dorothy closed the door, she felt very different. She hadn't been this comfortable in a long time. Keanu's face had seemed very familiar. Where had she seen him? An hour later, the door rang. Keanu had returned with several large bags. "Everything on your list is here, plus I added some small surprises." They carried the bags to the kitchen. When Dorothy opened the bags, she was surprised. In addition to everything on her list, there were fresh fruits, quality tea, cookies, and flowers. I didn't ask for these. I added them. I thought some color and sweetness would be good for everyone."
Dorothy was very impressed. "I don't know how to thank you. Would you like some tea?" "I'd be very pleased." While Dorothy was preparing tea, Keanu looked at the photos in the living room. "Is the man in these photos your husband?" "Yes, Robert. He passed away 3 years ago." "I'm very sorry. How long were you married?" 52 years. We knew each other from high school." Keanu smiled. "How wonderful. Do you have children?" 2, but they both live far away. I don't want to bother them." They prepared their tea and sat down. "What do you do for work, Keanu?" "I'm an actor." Something occurred to Dorothy. Keanu Reeves. Are you Keanu Reeves from the Matrix movies? Yes. Dorothy was shocked. You're famous. Why are you helping me? Because you need help. It's that simple. I taught for 45 years, Dorothy said. Thousands of children passed through my hands. What a beautiful profession. Do you love children? Very much. I saw each one as my own child. When I retired,
It was very difficult. Keanu listened carefully. Robert and I would visit some of my former students every year. Now they've grown up and started their own families. Some became doctors, engineers. Wonderful. You must be proud. Yes, but now I'm very lonely. Life has changed a lot since Robert left. Don't you have friends? I did, but most have either passed away or moved elsewhere. Aging is like that. I understood Dorothy's loneliness. How often do you talk to your children? They call once a week, but they have their own lives too. I understand that they're busy. I understand, but didn't you tell them you need help? Dorothy was embarrassed. No, I didn't want to worry them. Dorothy, Keanu said, I take walks around here once or twice a week. If you'd like, I can stop by and check on you. You're very kind, but... But? You're famous. For you to spend time on me... Dorothy, being famous doesn't make me a different person. I respect elderly people just like everyone else. Could you really spare the time? Of course. How about Tuesdays and Fridays? Dorothy was very happy. That would be very good. From that day on, Keanu started visiting Dorothy regularly. Each time, he would take her shopping list, do the grocery shopping, and they would have tea together.
After the first few visits, a real friendship had developed between Dorothy and Keanu. "Keanu," Dorothy said one day, "you saved my life." "How so?" "I was going to die of hunger. I couldn't leave the house. I couldn't ask anyone for help." "Why couldn't you ask?" "Pride. For 45 years, I helped others. Now asking for help feels very difficult." "Asking for help isn't weakness, Dorothy. It's part of being human." These words greatly affected Dorothy. Keanu didn't just do grocery shopping. He also went to Dorothy's medical appointments. He would drive her to doctor checkups, handle pharmacy needs, and sometimes even change a light bulb in the living room or fix a leaky faucet. Keanu's regular visits had changed Dorothy. She was now more cheerful, more energetic. "You know," she said one day, "before you, I wouldn't talk to anyone for days, just with the television." "How do you feel now?" "Much better. When I wake up in the morning, I wonder, is Keanu coming today? This gives me life." Keanu loved looking at the photos in Dorothy's house and listening to their stories. What's this photo from? 1965. The day Robert and I got married. We were so young. You look very beautiful. This was taken in 1970, in our first house. Dorothy told the story of each photo. Keanu listened patiently, asking questions. "Dorothy," Keanu said one day, "how often do you talk to your children?" "Once a week by phone, but it's been a long time since we've seen each other." "How long?" "I last saw Michael 2 years ago, Sarah a year and a half ago." "That's too long. Haven't you thought about telling them your situation?" "I thought about it, but they have their own lives too. I don't want them to see me as a burden." "They won't see you as a burden. You're their mother." Keanu convinced Dorothy to call her children. First, she called Sarah. "Mom, how are you? It's so good to hear your voice." "I'm fine, honey. How are you?" "I'm busy, but good. The kids are good too." "Mom, I want to ask you something. Do you need help?" Dorothy looked at Keanu. He nodded approvingly. "Actually, yes, honey. I'm having trouble with grocery shopping." "Mom, why didn't you tell us before? Let's arrange something right away." After talking to Sarah, Dorothy felt very relieved. "You were right, Keanu. Sarah was very understanding. Children always understand. You just need to give them the opportunity." The next day, Michael called. "Mom, Sarah called me. Why didn't you tell us you need help?"
I didn't want to make you busy. Mom, we're your children. It's our job to help you. Michael immediately set up an online shopping account. Dorothy's needs started arriving home every week. Sarah also started calling every day to ask about her condition. Do you see? Keanu said. Your children love you very much. They just didn't know you needed help. With Keanu's encouragement, Dorothy also started meeting her neighbors. The Martinez family upstairs are very nice people. Maybe you should meet them. But they have a baby. They won't want me. Give it a try. Dorothy hesitantly went upstairs and knocked on the door. Hello, I'm Dorothy from downstairs. Oh, Mrs. Dorothy, so nice to meet you. I'm Maria, and this is my husband, Carlos. I've wanted to meet you for a long time, but... Us too, please come in. A few hours later, Dorothy returned home very happy. Wonderful people. I saw their little baby too. So cute. See? People are much more genuine than you think. Keanu encouraged Dorothy to be more active. There's a senior center nearby. Would you consider going there? I don't know, meeting new people. There are probably retired teachers like you there. You'd have common ground. Dorothy was hesitant, but Keanu convinced her. On the first day, Keanu took Dorothy to the senior center. I don't want to go in. What if they don't like me? They will. You're a wonderful person. Dorothy went in and came out very happy a few hours later. It was wonderful. I ran into my old teacher friend Linda. I hadn't seen her in 20 years. From that day on, Dorothy started going to the senior center 2 or 3 times a week. One day, Dorothy got sick. She had a fever and felt very weak. She called Keanu. Keanu, I feel terrible. I'm coming right away. Keanu took Dorothy to the doctor. She had the flu, but it wasn't serious. A few days of rest, lots of fluids. Keanu took Dorothy home and took care of her for a few days. Keanu, you have work too. You can't take care of me. Dorothy, friends take care of each other. Those days further strengthened the bond between Dorothy and Keanu.
Keanu, Dorothy said one day, do you have family? I have a mother, but she's also elderly and lives far away. Do you see her often? Unfortunately, not very often. Work is busy. Then you're in the same situation as me. Yes, I suppose so. When did you last see your mother? 6 months ago. That's too long. Maybe you should visit her. You're right. I'll go this weekend. Following Dorothy's advice, Keanu visited his mother. When he returned, he thanked Dorothy. You were so right. My mother was very happy. See, sometimes the advice we give to others applies to ourselves too. By the end of 2022, Dorothy's life had completely changed. She was now going to the senior center 3 times a week. There she would play bridge games, join book clubs, and attend cooking classes. Her children called frequently and talked honestly about her condition. She had become close friends with her neighbors. The Martinez family treated her like a grandmother, bringing their little baby to visit. Keanu, she said one day, you completely changed my life. No, Dorothy, you changed your own life. I just opened the door. What if you hadn't come that day? But I did come, and it wasn't coincidence. Dorothy was now a different person. The woman who used to be shy and helpless now lived an active and social life. You know, she said to Keanu, now when I wake up in the morning, I plan my day. I used to just watch television. What kind of plans?
Tuesday, there's a bridge tournament at the senior center. Wednesday, I'm babysitting for neighbor Maria. Thursday is book club. Keanu smiled. Wonderful. You have a very active social life. It all started thanks to you. Dorothy had now transformed from someone who just received help to someone who helped others. She was helping new elderly people adapt at the senior center. Someone new is coming this week, she told Keanu. 85 years old, just lost her husband. I'm going to guide her. Very nice, Dorothy. Now you're giving hope to others too, just like you gave to me. Dorothy had set up a small notice board at her building entrance. Neighbors would leave notes about elderly neighbors who needed help. This board was your idea, do you remember? Yes, and it's working wonderfully.
When Dorothy's 80th birthday came, she had a big surprise. Keanu had organized a party. Her friends from the senior center, neighbors, and even her children had come. "How did you arrange the surprise?" Dorothy asked Keanu. "I coordinated with Sarah and Michael. They wanted to participate too." Michael had come from New York, Sarah from Texas. "Mom," Sarah said, "Keanu told us how much he helped. We don't know how to thank him." "Yes," Michael said. "If you had told us you needed help, leave the past behind," Dorothy said. "What's important is now." Following Dorothy's advice, Keanu started visiting his mother Patricia more often. "My mother has changed a lot," he told Dorothy. "Now I visit once a month." "How does she react?" "Very happy. I started giving her the value you gave me." "That's very nice, Keanu. Family should support each other." Keanu also brought his mother to Los Angeles and introduced her to Dorothy. "Mom, this is my very special friend, Dorothy." Patricia and Dorothy immediately got along. "Keanu talks about you a lot," Patricia said. "I understand you have a very special place in his life." "He saved my life," Dorothy said. "Who knows what would have happened without Keanu?" The two elderly women immediately became friends and started meeting regularly. In 2024, Dorothy and Keanu started a project together. They established an organization called Elderly Neighbors Support Network. "The idea is this," Dorothy said. "Let there be volunteers in every neighborhood supporting elderly people." "Great idea," Keanu said. "How do we start?" They first started a pilot project in West Hollywood. They found and trained 20 volunteers. Each volunteer took care of 2-3 elderly people. Grocery shopping, doctor appointments, social activities. "How did the first month go?" Keanu asked. "Wonderful! 15 elderly people are now receiving regular support," Dorothy said. Dorothy and Keanu's project was featured in the media. A news story titled "Local Heroes, the Duo Supporting the Elderly" was published. "Dorothy," Keanu said, "you're famous now." "Being famous at this age is strange," Dorothy said, laughing. After the news, many volunteer applications came in. "More than 100 people want to volunteer," Dorothy said. "Then we should expand the project." At the end of 2024, Dorothy and Keanu received the Community Service Award. "This award isn't just mine," Dorothy said as she went on stage. "It's also Keanu's. This project would never have started without him." "No, Dorothy," Keanu said into the microphone. "This idea was yours. I just supported it." Dorothy's children were also at the awards ceremony. "My mother is now a very different person," Sarah said. "She used to be shy and depressed. Now she's become a community leader." Dorothy was now 81 years old, but had the energy of a 60-year-old. Elderly Neighbors Support Network was now operating in 5 neighborhoods and helping more than 200 elderly people. "Dorothy," Keanu said, "you've become an activist now." "Me? No, I'm just trying to help others." "That's exactly what being an activist means."
Dorothy's house had visitors every day. New volunteers, media members, people from other cities wanting to learn about the project. "Do you ever get tired?" Keanu asked. "Never. This gives me energy. I have a purpose now." "Dorothy," Keanu said one day, "I want to tell you something." "What is it?" "You think I just helped you, but actually you helped me a lot too." "How did I help you?" "You made me a better person. You taught me the real meaning of helping others." "How so?" "Before, helping others just meant giving money to me. But you taught me that time, friendship, listening are much more valuable." Dorothy was very moved. "I also learned a lot from you, Keanu. Courage, hope, trusting others." Elderly Neighbors Support Network project was now operating in many cities in California. San Francisco, San Diego, Sacramento. Everywhere, local Dorothys were setting up projects and helping the elderly. "I can't believe it," Dorothy said. "Our small project has grown this much." "You started a movement, Dorothy. Kindness is contagious." By the end of 2024, the project was helping more than 1,000 elderly people. The National Aging Council selected them as Volunteer Organization of the Year.
Keanu's mother, Patricia, was now regularly coming to Los Angeles to visit Dorothy. "Dorothy," Patricia said, "you changed my son." "Me? How?" "He used to be very withdrawn, but after meeting you, he became much more social and helpful. He was already good. I just helped bring it out." Patricia and Dorothy would go to the senior center together, shop together, and even travel together. "As two elderly women, we have a lot of fun," Dorothy told Keanu. At the beginning of 2025, Dorothy and Keanu were talking about the day they first met. "You knocked on my door 4 years ago," Dorothy said. "That day, my life changed." "Mine too," Keanu said. "Now I think, what if you hadn't come that day?" "But I did come, and it wasn't coincidence. We can't know what's coincidence and what's fate, but that day, my angel came." Dorothy looked out the window at the street. The same window, but now she looked with different eyes. "From this window, I used to just watch people passing by. Now I wonder about their stories. Think about whether I can help them too." "That's change," Keanu said. "Now you're not just someone who receives, but someone who gives. And it's a very good feeling." Dorothy looked at Keanu. "You know, the day you first came, I was very scared. I thought I couldn't trust a stranger." "That was a normal reaction." "But you were patient. You earned my trust. And now you're my closest friend, almost like a son to me." Keanu was very moved. "I love you very much too, Dorothy. You're very special to me." Today, Dorothy Tyler is 82 years old and one of Los Angeles' most active elderly activists. Thanks to the Elderly Neighbors Support Network project, thousands of elderly people are living a better quality life. Dorothy's story teaches us this: sometimes, in life's darkest moments, help comes from places we don't expect. And this help doesn't just change our lives, it makes us someone who helps others. That day, Keanu Reeves didn't just help an elderly woman with grocery shopping, he gave her the support she needed to reconnect with life. And Dorothy took the support and gave it back to society, multiplied thousands of times. The story that started in that small apartment in West Hollywood is now giving hope to elderly people throughout California. Dorothy's window is now used not just to look at the street, but to see people who need help. Because real help isn't just a one-time act of kindness. When kindness spreads through chain effects, it makes a society more beautiful. The story of Dorothy Tyler and Keanu Reeves shows us that age is just a number. Dorothy started a new life at 78 and at 82 still inspires thousands of people. And it all started with a stranger knocking on the door and saying, "How can I help you?"